So, you've decided to get the new Intellivision Sprint, and you're looking for ROMs to load up on a USB stick and play. Well, if you don't know where to look, I've got you covered. Welcome to a very special Mike's Gaming Gala, where I'm going to show you where you can find ROMs to play either on the Intellivision Sprint, or really any other kind of emulation. This is the most complete list that I'm aware of, both of ROMs that you can purchase and ROMs that you can get for free. I'll also share news as to what some publishers may be doing in the future to take full advantage of the Sprint. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, obviously, I can't tell you where to download ROMs of the original 125 releases for the Intellivision. All I can say is a simple Google search for Intellivision ROM set should point you to plenty of places where you can get those. I'm on the record as saying that the reason to own an Intellivision these days is the incredible library of homebrew games. So I'm going to point you to a bunch of resources that you can use for that, and also make some recommendations on good games to get. I've reviewed a lot of games on this channel, so a look through my Intellivision playlist should also give you a better idea on some titles that you might want to pick up. For each list, I'll be highlighting the names of the games in green if they're free, and yellow for my top recommendations. There will be some duplicate games on these lists, but I wanted to be as thorough as I could for each source. One more note before we get started, games will commonly come in one of two formats, either a .rom file or a pair of files with a .bin and a .config or CFG component. The Sprint can run either type. Just make sure that if you have the bin config files, you copy both of them onto your USB in order for the system to play it. The first stop for a lot of retro gamers is the AtariAge forums. And in a search for ROMs, this is no exception. In the Intellivision forum, there's a thread called the Big List of Free Intellivision Games. Here, you'll find links to 46 games and counting, such as Fortress, Aardvark, Meteors, Inti Basic Showcase Volume 2, Antarctic Tales, Bank Panic, Beat 'em and Eat 'em, Canyon Escape, Carol vs. Christmas Ghost, Chippy Plus, Clowns and Balloons, Desert Bus, Goat Nom, FW Diagnostics, Flappy Bird, Frankenstein's Monster, Goof Enough, Gorillas, Heli, Intellipungola, Intel, iStar, Killer Bees Plus, K-Vader, The Leprechaun's Flight, Lil Bro 2, Little Man Computer, Maria, Onion, Monsters Attack, Princess Quest, Pumpkin Attack, Pumpkin Bakery, Pumpkin Castle, Pumpkin Master, Pumpkin Mischief, Space Patrol, Space Raid, Stack'em, Stonix, Studio Vision, Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe, Tower Attack, Tower of Hanoi, TV Pow, and Unlucky Pony. There's also another thread called INTV Homebrew ROM Sites that's full of links. But that one is a type of thread that you'll have to search through and click the links throughout it. Definitely some treasure in there though, if you're keen to look for it. Note that you do not have to be a member of AtariAge to view these threads. Elektronite is one of the premium homebrew publishers, and in fact, several of their past releases are going to be available from Atari, including Boulder Dash, which is built into the Sprint console. Sadly, they lost control of their website years ago, and it currently still has a COVID-19 shutdown message on it. Elektronite is not closed though. They have a great variety of both physical and digital games available for sale, and you can get them either by messaging through their Facebook page or by email at elektronite@hotmail.com. They're also working on getting the website sorted, so in future, that will likely be an option as well. If and when that happens, I'll post an update. Since these games are ordered via email, I'll include the prices in US dollars on this list. Current games available as ROMs are A Tale of Dragons and Swords, Anthropomorphic Force, Cat Attack, DK Arcade, D2K Arcade, Defender of the Crown, Hover Bover, Match 5, Infiltrator, Ninja Odyssey, Paddle Party, Robot Army, Star Mercenary, Steamroller, The Lost Caves of Kraz, and The Pandora Incident. Available soon will be Polista Avenue Redux, Mindhunter, and Old School. Homebrew Inc. is a publisher primarily focused on ports of games from the arcade and other consoles. William of Elektronite is also the guy that you have to contact in order to purchase these ROMs. So messaging through the Elektronite Facebook or emailing elektronite@hotmail.com is how you get these. Their library includes Cosmic Avenger, D2K Arcade Special Edition, Fantasy, Clax, Mr. Chess, Omega Race, Pumpkin Trilogy, Stop the Express, Thunder Soldier, and Wizard of War. Coming soon is Mr. Do, Napoleonic Wars, Rick Dynamite, Phoenix, and Pumpkin Trilogy 2. Before we move on, Elektronite has said that they're exploring putting together packages of physical manuals, overlays, and a USB thumb drive for some of their games in the future. So those that want to play their games on the Sprint while also having something tangible to collect can still do so. As it stands though, all ROM purchases from Elektronite and Homebrew Inc. come as a digital package with a PDF manual and images of the box art, label, and overlays. Intellivision Collector is a great source for all things Intellivision, including ROMs of a lot of great homebrew games. Clicking on the digital downloads section of their website, there's a list of games that they have published as well as digital sales of games from other publishers. As of the making of this video, their available library includes Antarctic Tales Enhanced Edition, Bank Panic, Beachhead, Beat 'em and Eat 'em, Buck Rogers, Chopper Command, Desert Bus, Donkey Kong Jr., Dragon Quest, E.T., Fantasy Puzzle, Fox's Quest, FW Diagnostics, Goat Nom, Goof Enough, Grail of the Gods, Heli, Junior Pac-Man, Jump King Jr., Laser Sharks, Lock and Chase 8K, Load Runner, Maria, Missile Domination DX, Moonblast, Norseman, Norseman 2, Onion, Operation Cloudfire, Oregon Bound, Parsec, Penguin Land, Pitfall 2, Pitfall 3, Poker Risque, Pyramid Warp, Quarteto Brasileiro, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Road Fighter, Sea Venture, Space Bandits, Space Panic, The Show Must Go On, Ultimate Pong, Unlucky Pony, Vanguard, and X-Rally. Any digital purchases from Intellivision Collector, including the free games, are automatically provided as a download link. The online store here is, in my opinion, the best in the Intellivision homebrew scene. These are also delivered as digital packages, with manuals, box art, and overlay images. Intellivision Revolution doesn't currently have ROM sales. However, that is set to change in the future, and Rev has even indicated that he's considering physical packages with manual and overlays for ROMs, so we'll be keeping an eye on that moving forward. They are, however, very closely associated with Intelligentvision and point to their ROM vault. Intellivision.us is the home of Intelligentvision, where you can find loads of games, mostly free. A lot of them are ports, hacks, and quality of life improvements, but this is definitely a must visit to help you build your ROM collection. Currently, games include Adventures of Tron, Auto Racing Super Pro, B-17 Flying Fortress, Backgammon Super Pro, Baseball Super Pro, Basketball Streamlined Super Pro, Beauty and the Beast Super Pro, Bomb Squad Super Pro, Bowling Striker Super Pro, Boxing Super Pro, Bump and Jump Super Pro, Burger Time Super Chef, Choplifter, Donkey Kong Arcade, Flintstones Keyboard Fun. This game requires the keyboard attachment, however, so it won't play on the Sprint unless a future firmware upgrade allows for a keyboard. Hockey All-Star Super Pro, Illusions, Jetsons Way with Words controller version, King of the Mountain, Lock and Chase Revenge of Lupin, Lock and Chase 8K, Meteor Super Pro, Mind Strike controller version, Mindhunter, Miss Night Stalker, Miss Pac-Man, Mystic Castle, Pinball 2, Pool and Billiards, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Same Game and Robots, Scarfinger, Scooby-Doo Maze Chase controller version, Shark 2, Space Battle Battlestar Galactica, Space Cant, Space Invaders, Space Spartans Last Defense, Space Patrol, Spina the Bee, Death Star Strike, Stonix, Super Pro Mountain Madness Skiing, Super NFL Football, Tennis Super Pro, Tron Deadlier Discs, Tron Mazatron Reloaded, Tron Solar Sailor Revisited, Vectrix 2025 Super Pro, World Series Baseball Controller version, and Yogi's Frustration. Brian's Man Cave is a YouTuber as well as a programmer of some Intellivision games. He has ROMs of some of those available on his website, briansmancave.com. Games for sale here are Miss Paku Paku, Traffic Jam, Boing, Rags to Riches, Perfect, Fast Food, and Keystone Cops. Michael Hayes is an Intellivision programmer with a website that is a great resource for any Intellivision fan. MidnightBlueInternational.com. Clicking on the Everything Intellivision section provides you links to Pensate, A Better Mousetrap, Foobar, and Same Game and Robots. Also on his site is the PIDE front end for the JZIN-TV emulator, tools for editing Intellivision games, and patches for hacking games. Any purchases from Michael are done through email. MTX World DK is a site with a few games that you can download, including a few free demos. Here you can get CB Tic-Tac-Toe, Donkey, although this is a .bas file, so I'm not sure that it'll work on the Sprint, Jaw Crusher, the Jaw Crusher demo, Kniefelter, Super Minefield, and the Super Minefield demo. Oscar Toledo Gutierrez, better known as Nanochess, literally wrote the book on Intellivision programming. 2 of them, in fact. His website, nanochess.org, has 2 sections that you'll want to check out for games, the Store tab and the Retro Gaming tab. In the store, you can purchase Castle of Death, Frankenstein's Monster, Unlucky Ponies Adventures, Aardvark, Meteors, and the Inti Basic Showcase Volume 2. You can also buy his programming books here if you want to make your own games. In the Retro Gaming tab, Oscar has a list of games that he's worked on for multiple systems, including free download links for some of them. Intellivision ROMs linked to here include Pumpkin Bakery, Pumpkin Castle, Tower Attack, Pumpkin Attack, Gorillas, Pumpkin Mischief, Leprechaun's Flight, Pumpkin Master, Meteors, Inti Lander, Inti Pack, 2048, Oh Mummy, and Grail of the Gods. pdroms.de is a site full of ROMs for a bunch of different systems, including Intellivision. Games here are Shape Escape, Spirit, Stack'em, Stonix, and Zombie Marbles. And there you go, a load of websites where you can get ROMs so that you'll be all set when the Intellivision Sprint drops. Find some games that look interesting to you and give them a try. Well over 60 of the games that I've listed here are free, so it never hurts to give them a download. I hope this helped make the Homebrew ROM landscape more approachable for you. And I also hope that with the Sprint's release, we'll see more Homebrew publishers with digital releases, making these titles available to a wider audience. If you're interested in cartridges, a year and a half ago, I made a guide to the full Homebrew scene that's still mostly applicable. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it here as well. Thank you for watching my video, I hope you liked it, and thank you so much to my channel members. I appreciate your support so much. If you like this kind of content and want to support me, I would be honored if you'd join them. As always, my contact info is in the description, and we'll see you next time on Mike's Gaming Gala.